Hello, this is Nathan Webb, and this is a tutorial on how to add a forearm roll bone to a character so your wrist twisting looks nice. Here's a basic arm rig with control objects, just NURB circles, which are orient constraining the joints for the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. The arm isn't skinned yet, so let's take a look how it looks when we skin it or when we attach the geometry to the joint. So I pick the arm. Oh, the arm geometry is the Andy rig. I'm using the arm from the Andy rig. Want to give credit where credit's due. Let's pick the arm geometry and then the joint. Go to skin, smooth bind. I'm just going to pick two influences. If you're doing a full character, I'll do three. Hit apply. Let's take a look how the weighting looks. We're concerned with the wrist. So when you move your wrist in Z, it looks okay. But Y, it looks pretty good. But when you start working in X, you'll notice, even with the default weighting, which we could fix a little bit, if you move your wrist too much, especially 180 degrees, you get a really nasty twist in your geometry. So we want to fix that by adding a forearm roll joint to help spread out the twist through the arm. So I'm going to detach the geometry, skin, detach skin, and we can delete the history, keep it. I didn't modify the weighting, so I don't really need to do anything. Hit apply. And I'm going to add a joint in here. You can add a joint with the insert joint tool. We'll go to skeleton, insert joint tool, and we'll click on the wrist. Whoops! You actually click on the elbow and then drag in the middle with your left mouse button. Let go, and we'll call that forearm. Now we're going to use this forearm joint to twist a little bit when I twist the wrist. We're going to use MEL, or Maya Embedded Language, to get the forearm to twist 50% of what the wrist is twisting. So I need to rebind the skin, so select the geometry, select our shoulder joint, go to skin, smooth bind, and now you see when you move the wrist, it'll just do the same thing. But if we rotate the forearm here, it'll actually help us with the twist. For example, if I move my arm all the way around, that looks really bad, but if I put a little bit of twist on my forearm, it looks a lot better. So I'm going to put the rotation back to 0, put this back to 0. And we're going to use MEL to get the forearm joint to twist half of what the wrist does. To write a MEL expression, we can go up to the Window Animation Editor's Expression Editor, but I like using just a basic text editor to write my MEL, because if you do something wrong with this expression editor, it actually deletes your expression, which is a bummer. So I'm just going to use a text editor or WordPad, like Notepad or WordPad, to get my script done. Here's WordPad. Now, expressions in Maya work with objects and then attributes. We're going to control the rotation of the forearm joint. So in Maya, it goes object dot attribute. So for our forearm, it would be forearm dot rotate X. That's what we're going to rotate. And we're going to have the wrist control it. It's rotate X. We want to make sure we type things exactly. So let's check our spelling. We have wrist left control is what I wrote. So wrist LT control. And then our forearm is just forearm. So the equation we're going to use is the forearm rotate X. That is going to equal half of our wrist rotation. So we're going to multiply it by 0.5. And you always want to end things with the semicolon. So our forearm's twist in X is going to equal half of our wrist rotation. So I'm going to copy this and go back to the expression editor. I'm going to call my expression forearm. Down here, I'll paste it, and if we get it right, we'll see. I'm going to hit create. Result was good. We can take a look now at my forearm joint, and we see that its channel in X is purple. That means it's being controlled by an expression. Let's see how that expression helped us out. When I twist my forearm, or when I twist my wrist controller in X, you'll see that my forearm's moving. So if I make my wrist go 90 degrees, my forearm should be 45. If I hide my joints, you can see that the weighting's kind of messed up here, but we could fix that later. You could also have the elbow move a little bit too, but that's the basics of how to get Mel to rotate a forearm joint when you rotate your wrist. That way you don't have to worry about rotating your forearm. Maya will just do it automatically for you. Thanks for watching.